Hey everyone. So I'm out today as part of Thomdarrah's Bush Class Intermediate Heavy Cover Canteen Kit Challenge. The challenge is to complete all of the intermediate Bush Class lessons and the electives if you'd like, and submit trip reports and video, and there's going to be a judging and we'll see who wins. But I'm out today to do my first outing, which will include mostly firecraft. One of the fire relays, two of the split wood fires. I'm going to play with the natural tinders, charring natural tinders. I'm going to do the knots lesson too. But it's a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be in the mid 70s and sunny, so can't complain there. I'm just gonna hike into the woods. There's a spot that, according to the map, has a small pond, though you never know. It could be a marsh, it could be something else. And then find everything I need to try and complete this challenge. So it turns out the part on the map that showed a map or a marsh, not a map, and some open water is this. It's all pretty much grown in. I mean, it's swampy when you walk in it, but I think what I'm going to do is double back. There's another part of the woods I want to check out. It's got some decent trails and probably a better place to set up for the day. So that's going to be the plan. So I hit a different section of the forest. This place has super well defined trails. In fact, cars drive down them. So if a car can make it down it, I can make it down it. But it should have some nice open areas and plenty of stuff to play with so that we can get this lesson done. Ooh, birch bark. Here's a neat view as part of the reforestation they did here. You could see the trees are all planted in nice perfect little rows. Makes it easy to walk around. Might have a little fatwood score there. We'll take a look. So I chopped a little bit out, and sure enough, we got some fatwood in there. It's the first time I've ever found fatwood out in the wild, up here in New York anyway. It's a little bit more rare, but considering this place was logged for its pine trees and stuff, it's probably not that big a surprise that there'd be stumps like this. So, it's pretty damp, but I'm gonna hang on to that, dry it out, and use it. Well, I'm gonna camp here for the day. I mean, it's beautiful. It's nice and cool. There's sun. I couldn't be more comfortable. It's a nice wide open spot right here. String my hammock up. It's another couple things I'm playing around with today. In addition to the challenge, I put a structural ridge in one of my hammocks. I want to see how that works out. Maybe add it to my other one. And I'm testing out a pack I got from Seeker, ULA CDT, and so far the thing's awesome. I absolutely love it. I might not get to do 2 splitwood fires today because it's going to be awfully hard to find a tree species other than pine. I'm going to take a walk around and look, but I might just end up doing the 1 splitwood fire. But that's cool. I mean, it's just going to be nice to be out here doing some bushcraft. In my pack today, I just got some real basic stuff. I've got the pack, obviously. I just wanted to fill it up, so I kind of had a feel for what it would be like loaded. I've got my hammock set up, backpack, messed tarp. I got my line kit. Brought a Sawyer water filter, Nalgene bottle, miscellaneous stuff, survival blanket, fire kit, hoodie, gloves, a couple knives, Bible. But I just wanted to see what it'd feel like loaded up, and obviously some of this stuff I'm going to use today. But like I said before, I'm pretty happy with this pack. I also had a plumb boy's axe strapped to the side of it, and you'll see a little later in the video I've got my big Daddy Hoss buck saw too. And all in all, I didn't weigh it out, but you know, it's still not too heavy even with all that stuff. Oh, good fortune shined on me. I went for a little walk, and not far down there was an old overgrown trail, super overgrown trail, but the edges of the trail outside of the conifers was hardwood, and I found this standing dead cherry, so I have some cherry to work with for a splitwood fire. This is the top of a pine tree, so I'm going to do one in pine. I got a big piece to baton on and work on. The gnats are getting kind of crazy. I didn't expect to see this much out here. This has only been like a couple warm weather days, but at least they're not black flies and they're not biting, so it's not that bad. Okay, bush class lesson 1 that I'm going to do. 4 intermediate knots. I've got a bunch of line here I can do different things with. Anyway, first knot is the clove hitch. You go over, you come around and you go across. You come around again, you come under your X like that. Tighten it up, and there's your clove hitch.
I also learned when I was a kid, my dad taught me this because he spent a lot of time on boats. He owned one. You're out on the water a lot. You could do a clove hitch by taking your one hand backward like this, one hand forward like this. And you just twist and lay them over. Tighten it up. And away you go. The next knot that they wanted you to do in the lesson was the slip knot, which is easy enough. Make a loop like that. What they wanted us to do is pinch off a bunch of duff or a rock or something, but use it to pinch it off. So put a bunch of this stuff inside my hanky here. Take my slip knot. Let's tie it off like that. Yeah, obviously you could do it much smaller than that. You know, if you needed an anchor point for a tarp or something like that. The next knot after that in the lesson was the Canadian jam knot. Everybody loves that. It's a pretty cool knot. I actually have some set up here that I use to cinch down my sleeping bag, which I'm going to do again for this video. But what you do is you tie an overhand knot in the end. This becomes your tab. And you tie another overhand knot. And you bring this back through like that. And then you can, well, I'll cinch it down on this log. You crank it up, cinches down and locks like that. They wanted us to use the knot to compress something. I already have here, but I'll do it again. Take these off. I have a lot of extra line on these. It's kind of hard to dress out sometimes. I think I've got 2 long ones, 4 average size ones that I could cut way shorter. In fact, I may do that today. So you got the 4 average size ones, you loosen them up. But as you can see, you lay them on there. I usually start from the outside in. And you just crank it down. Actually going to shorten these up. They've always been way too long. Then put the ones on lengthwise. You can tighten them down that way in each direction so you have a nice compact pack or bag or whatever you're trying to cinch up. This is a pretty old, pretty large sleeping bag. Someday I got to get into something nicer than this, but it works for now. That cinches my bag down real nice. The last one is the bowline. The way that works is make a loop, come up through the loop, around this, and back down. I don't know how this is going to cinch off. My ridge line probably isn't the best line to do this with. This again. Yeah. So our loop's going to be over here. Come up through this loop. This is the part that's going to be our loop over here. Come up through here. Go around this. Back down through there. And you cinch that off. And it locks a loop right in the end. Now, the other thing they wanted us to do was to do it one-handed, as if we're being rescued. I actually think this way is kind of cool. I didn't know how to do this until I took the lesson. So this end of the rope goes up to you, the rescuer. This end of the rope goes down to me, the one-handed rescuee. What I do is I go over, make a loop like that. I go around, back through. It pulls a knot, makes the loop. Obviously, I would have this a lot tighter than me if I was being rescued, but that's your one-handed. Okay, next lesson. 5 natural tinders with a fire steel. I have found cedar bark, birch bark, cattail down, reed panicles, which is on the top of them where all the seeds are, and obviously some of the fat wood that I found. Some of these I've lit with success before. Some of these I have no idea whatsoever. So I guess we'll start with the cedar bark. It's smoldering. There we go. Oh, there we don't go. There we go. Cedar bark. Way. Birch bark. This I know will go. Birch bark. Love the smell of birch bark too, it's just wonderful. Reed panicles. These things are awesome if you can find them. Like I said, they're at the top of the reeds. This is last year's. All the seed is fluffed out of them, but they go right up. Cattail down. I've never done cattail down. I'll give it a try. That goes right up too. Wow. You get flames, but then they go out. You could work with it though. And last but not least, fatwood I found earlier. I made some shavings of that. I don't know, it feels damp. I'm not sure if it's just damp or resin, but we'll give it a shot. Well, I don't know everything there is to know about fatwood, but from the looks of it, it's got to dry out just like everything else. So I did find two other really solid stumps. I got some stuff out of them and ended up cracking my axe handle doing it. So looks like I'll be calling house when I get home. I found some, it feels like really dry lichen. So I'll give that a try for number 5. If not, I got something else. There you go, number 5. I think this is similar to Old Man's Beard. I don't know, this was on the ground. It was kind of the tops of some moss that was just dry and dead. So I think after nicking myself pretty good, not too terribly good, but more than I'd want to, I think I'm just going to do 1 split wood fire today. I had planned on doing 2. Pretty ambitious today. Wanted to get a bunch of the fire stuff done, but I still want to char some natural materials and try blowing them into flame. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I know how I'm going to char them, but there's not a lot of grasses or great stuff for tinder bundles. But I got some reasonably dry pine needles, so maybe that'll work. But I'm going to do my 3 times prep with the cherry and just do 1 cherry split wood fire, I think. I'll skip the pine today. I could probably I was planning on doing, I think, one fire lay the rest of my outings. Probably should have planned to do 2 on the overnight outing. Because to be honest, splitwood fires take a while, man. I don't know where all these guys that you watch in the videos live. The magical lumberyard forests that they live in, where everything's straight and has no knots in it. But up here in New York, man, everything has knots in it. Everything. Nothing is straight. So it takes quite a while to build one of these. I mean, you can saw between, you know, the branch sections on a pine and split them okay, but it takes quite a while. So I usually just do the twig fire because it's so much easier, so much faster to get your material, and then you can get on with having a fire instead of spending an hour or so. I mean, this is cool, it's fun, I like doing it. You know, if I have the time and I'm spending an overnight and I just want to practice skills and stuff, then splitwood fires are cool. And I will do the splitwood fires for my intermediate certification, but if I'm just camping for myself or my buddies or whatever the case may be, I do twig fires. I mean, I'll cut wood up and I'll split it with my axe, so you know, you have good split firewood, but I won't spend, you know, all my time processing it down if I don't have to. It is useful to know, you know, wet environments, all those reasons. So I'll definitely do it and I'll practice, but I'm not going to do 2 fires today. Today will be 1. So here we go, 3 times prep, a nice base for my fire lay. Like I said, I'm going to build a teepee fire, and I think I'm going to use birch bark probably. Reed panicles are fun too. Maybe I'll throw reed panicles in there. And I'll do my first of my splitwood fires, and everyone has to be a different wood, and everyone has to be a different natural tinder. So this one will be cherry wood and reed panicles. Okay, plan B, birch bark and a log cabin fire. Okay, the last thing I had to do here today was I was going to char some stuff. see if I could blow it into flame, some natural material. The things I'm going to try and char are cedar bark. I got to put a hole in this one yet. And I'm going to try and char some cattail duff. So I got a nice bed of coals here going now. It's just hot, man. Wish I had some steak. I'll put that tin there. Get this cattail duff in here. Cook this stuff up. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, the last thing to do for today is to start a fire with material you charred. I just charred this cattail and some cedar bark. The cedar bark, I don't know how well that's going to work out. I mean, it's charred, but I think maybe if I had bigger, more solid chunks of it, it might work better. In the lesson it said you can use a fire steel. For now, I'm going to try using a flint and steel. And I'm going to start with the cattail duff first because it just looks easier. Maybe not. I feel heat in that. Give it a go. Yeah, there's heat in it. I don't know if these pine needles are going to blow into flame or not. Yep, there we go. So that was the cattail. I don't even know how I'm going to hold this cedar bark. Let me just see if I can drop a spark into the tin. Stuff went up good. Alright, let's see if I can just drop a spark into this tin and then maybe dump that into the... I don't think so. Try it with the fire steel. Drop that stuff into here. Cedar bark blows into flame too. It's good to know that those needles off the end of a tree that fell down in the wintertime, that you can make a nice bird's nest out of them. I didn't know that. Well, that's all the stuff I had planned for today. If you liked what you saw, I'm going to post this all on YouTube. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing a couple more of these challenges. Who knows, maybe I'll do more stuff in the future. I'm not sure. But thanks for coming along.